Welcome, Fife High School, to 500 Seconds with Staff. So, throughout the remainder of the year, I'm going to be checking in with a few Fife High School staff members just to see how they're doing and what they've been learning during this COVID-19 pandemic. But honestly, I know our students are really missing our staff, and I wanted them to hear from us. So today, I'm meeting with Miss MacKinnon, one of our PE teachers, budding author, Fife's resident expert on all things Scotland, and founder of the Happy Hallway. Miss MacKinnon, thank you so much for joining me. Let's start our 500 seconds. So it feels like it has been forever since I last saw you. How you been doing these past few weeks?
We're good. We're safe. We're staying at home. Have done a little grocery shopping for my parents. But yeah, we're good. We're all right.
Yeah, the parents. I know there's a lot of worries for a lot of people, but our older family members, gosh, you just worry for them, don't you?
Yeah, my mom has asthma, so we've tried to be really bossy with her to stay home.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them. I know they just want to help people too, and it's just so difficult. So right now, I know there is a lot of things that we're all learning, and I'm sure knowing you that you're no different. Can you tell us a little bit about like what you've been learning this past month?
Well, on the heart side, I've learned how much I love my friends and family. That's been amazing. On the fun, playful side, I learned there's this app called TuneIn, and I can tune in to a radio station on the Isle of Skye in Scotland through my Alexa. So I've been listening to Scottish radio, and that's just been a blast for me. I'm like, oh, I can't go to Scotland, but I can bring it to my living room. Huh. And then just looking up a ton of stuff, trying to figure out how to do PE through Zoom, and I think I'm gonna make some videos, and I have some ideas, and I might try to get my husband to help me, and but just trying to learn that whole online thing too. So
yeah, I know it's really a challenge for our students trying to adapt to this, but a lot of people don't realize just how hard it is for teachers, because you guys got into this business because of people. Because you cared about kids and that face to face, especially in PE. Tell me a little more about that. Like, how hard has that been for you?
Well, luckily, there's a lot of other really phenomenal PE teachers around the nation and the world that are doing really cool things. So I'm gonna just really beg from all those other efforts. So that's the community out there has been pretty amazing.
That's awesome. You mentioned
because we're all going through the same thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned it sounded like that you've kind of realized that maybe you've taken some things for granted, or that you're realizing some things about yourself. Tell me a little more about that.
I just really. I'm just amazed at the humans out there. I really, I think that people, different families are in different stages of what's going on. Some of us are in survival. There's food scarcity, financial scarcity, and that's just where they're at. Some of us are in, okay, well, I'm at home. What am I going to do with this time? And that's kind of me in that category. And just really recognizing how lucky we are to have paychecks right now, and how lucky we are to have technology so we can talk to each other. Zoom meetings with my friends and talking to my college roommates. There's just a lot of people that are super precious, and that's really it. Like the people, the relationships is the most important.
Yeah.
Same with our staff and students. I just miss them so much. Our colleagues and our kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Hey, who's someone that's been encouraging you right now as you work through this yourself?
My husband. He's just I married well. Like I really won the Mega Millions when I married him. And I am relentlessly positive. I really believe that we have to dig in deep and find the good. But there's still days when I just start crying, or the grief sort of hits you like a tsunami, and you're like, is this really happening? And trying to, limit my intake of the news to 5 to 10 minutes is enough to find out what's going on, so I don't stay in that space of just where your body's just in stress survival mode, trying to get out of that and say, okay, I'm at home, I have food, I'm safe. And my husband's just been awesome in terms of supporting all the waves. It's just up and down, all the waves.
Yeah. Well, we all need to have that person that's encouraging us, that's in our corner. I think that's some great advice, by the way, is to marry well. Good job on that. I'm curious what other advice you might have. I know you're someone who's always trying to learn, and this is your opportunity to share with our students maybe some advice that you have for them as you're working through this.
Well, kind of like I already said, I think it's really important to limit your consumption of the news. Because if we just sit in front of the statistics all day, all that does is flood our body with cortisol, and we get into that stress place. And quite honestly, that's bad for your immunity. So we have to just set that aside, to find the space to just take a break, to stay healthy. The other advice I would have is to exercise every single day. Get your sister to exercise, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your grandparents, like exercise. Get out and exercise. And then, do it again the next day. You're going to feel better. You've got time, exercise. And I guess the third thing would just be to recognize that we're all in different places. And if you're the kid that's working at McDonald's and you're risking your life going out every day as somebody that's out in the world, or your parents are, and you're in survival mode, it's going to look different for you than for the person that's got a paycheck coming in like me, that's just sitting at home. And to just really honor yourself and try to be gentle with yourself, because it's a world pandemic. It's a big deal.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot this year at Fife High School about empathy, where we can really put ourselves into the shoes of other people and understand what they're going through. And that's hard right now for us, because I don't even know if we realize the extent of what our kids are going through. You guys out there listening to this, keep hanging tough. Some great advice from MacKinnon. Make sure you are exercising. I know that this was a hard week for our seniors. I know when I got the news this week, it really hit me hard. What advice do you have for our seniors, Ms. MacKinnon?
Well, I guess I don't know that I have any advice for our seniors. For our seniors, mostly I just have a lot of love. And I might start crying because I just am gutted for them. I am absolutely gutted for them. The loss for them is the loss of prom and the loss of possibly of graduation. We don't know what that's going to look like. Spring sports. The dreams that they had in September are gone. And I was really thinking about a lot this week. And there's this thing on the internet you can look up, the best advice for grief, that this man wrote, and it's about a tsunami and how when the tsunami first hits, there's this wreckage and just destruction everywhere, and you can barely get up for a breath because it's so painful. And then you get to the point where it's like the waves aren't 100 feet tall, they're maybe 50 feet tall, and you can breathe a little, but it still comes. And then you get to the point where you can maybe see it coming, so you can be a little bit less caught off guard. And so I don't know if I have advice for our seniors, but I think they really need to take care of each other, because they're the only ones that really know what they're going through. I don't think we have an idea. And I guess I would have a challenge them more than advice. For for the ones that can, I challenge you, 5 seniors, when you get to the space where you can take a breath, to find the good and to do something good for our school. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like, but Brian Meyer's amazing. Obviously, it's not the dream that we all had, but when you're ready, let's come together. We are Fife High School. Like, there's one school that did like the teachers did a parade through the community. There's another school that's going to turn on the football lights. And I don't know what it will look like for us, but one way to find healing is to find the helpers, find the good, and do something to help somebody else. So I guess it would be more of a challenge if you're a senior that's in a position where you could help someone. I challenge you to do that. And now I got to stop crying.
All right, you're making me cry, Miss MacKinnon. I am not. People who know me know I'm not shy to shed a tear or two. Thank you for making me choke up. I appreciate that. Seniors, I think what you heard from Miss MacKinnon is that going through that initial tsunami and feeling like you're underwater is normal. And but the hope is it will get a little bit better. It will get easier. You will be able to catch your breath, and we are going to make something special out of this. Miss MacKinnon, thank you so much for sharing your heart. Thanks again for joining me. And this has been your 500 seconds.